Let's face it, the dollar just isn't what it used to be. That's why people like you and me, we gotta be careful to get the most value for our money. That's why I come here, Taco Bell. I can feed my whole family for $5.59. 2 tacos, 2 bean burritos, 2 tostadas, pintos and cheese, soft drinks, only $5.59. Like they're saying, Taco Bell, what a meal, what a deal. No kidding.
All right, time to gather around, ladies and gentlemen. Time to learn about the entity known as the Snail Lord, or known scientifically as Achatina Horrendum, also P89273. This malevolent entity resides within the nightmarish depths of the NecroAsylum. It is an abomination that defies comprehension, combining traits of a colossal snail and a twisted lord of darkness. The mere sight of this grotesque creature, my friends, instills terror and revulsions in all who encounter it. And you know you see this thing. When you see a snail of an enormous size, this thing towers over its victims with a shell that stretches into the abyss. Its immense presence dominates the surroundings, exuding an aura of oppressive malevolence. You know you see this thing, for its nightmarish shell is something you cannot forget. Its shell is covered in glistening black and green patterns, and is adorned with grotesque spikes protruding out from bodies, human bodies, in various state of decomposition. This shell serves as both a formidable defense and a symbol of the creature's dominion over the NecroAsylum. You know you see this thing for its sickly glowing eyes. These glowing eyes penetrate the darkness with an otherworldly intensity. They possess a hypnotic quality to them. They're capable of ensnaring the weak-willed and luring them to their doom. If you see the Snail Lord, and it sees you, it is too late, my friend. There is no help. There's no help. There's no hope at all. Psychic manipulation is another thing this Snail Lord is capable of. My friends, this strange entity, this Achatina Horrendum, possesses the sinister ability to infiltrate the minds of its victims. So not only does it entrap you with its glowing eyes, it will penetrate your mind and unleash hallucinations and torment you with your deepest, darkest fears. And it preys upon the vulnerability of the human psyche, driving its victims to the brink of madness. You know you're near this thing when you feel the cold touch of ghosts. For its victims, it is rumored, it is believed, that when the Snail Lord takes its victims, it doesn't just devour them. It devours their soul, trapping the soul within the walls of the shell for eternity. And there the souls will serve the Snail and assist it in its reign of terror. Now, I do have a story, and this story serves as both the origin of the Snail Lord and the dawn of the discovery of the NecroAsylum. You see, these two entities are very intertwined. Sometime during the 19th century, a redacted company sent a team of paranormal investigators to research a strange phenomenon that occurred at the Queen Anne Hotel in San Francisco. Rumor had it that people had found strange doors and hallways where there should not be. So phantom hallways, phantom doors. It was also reported by a small handful of visitors that their items were misplaced, or they would find that the room was rearranged in a way that's very strange to them, or even find the room to be damaged and destroyed after a night's sleep. It's like, what happened? And things really began to escalate when a visitor had seemingly vanished without a trace. Nobody was found, and yet all his belongings were left behind. Police had investigated, and they found nothing, but the Ann Hotel hired the redacted company to investigate the matter. And during their investigation, my friends, the team found truth to the report of phantom hallways and doors. These hallways and doors would appear when certain conditions were met. It seemed strange and very otherworldly, you could say. It was reported that by the investigators, they would walk towards a mirrored wall, take a few steps back, and in the mirrored wall was no longer just a mirror. Really bizarre, my friends. But the team pushed forward. They discovered a labyrinthine hallways that expanded for miles, seemingly to never end, with each hallway seemingly to be an exact duplicate of another. And this may sound familiar to you. It sounds like it may be describing the backrooms. Well, yes, indeed, it is. It is a variation of the backrooms. It is part of the backrooms, actually. So you are correct there. But this team did not stop here. They went deeper into the unknown. And as they did, the walls began to become corrosive. They described it as sickly, as if covered with a layer of necrotic flesh. It was by this time the team wanted to return back and report to the company what they had found. But the passage behind them had become blocked off by solid black stone. The team had little choice. Well, they had no choice, after all, actually, but to keep going. And they had to go deeper into the darkness. And as they did, my friends, they eventually came face to face with what will be called the Snail Lord. They saw its glowing eyes, though. The first thing they noticed was its glowing eyes. And those eyes bore into their souls, ensnaring them in a web of terror. The entity unleashed its psychic manipulation, tormenting our explorers, our investigators, with their deepest, darkest fears, causing madness to consume them one by one. The Snail Lord devoured their hope, leaving behind broken spirits, shattered minds, except for one. One of the investigators was released from the monster's wicked psychic prison. This lone survivor was even granted access out of the horrible dungeon. Makes you wonder why that happened. I believe, my friends, that the Snail Lord wanted him to escape so that he could tell others, so that they would continue to send more people into this deep, dark realm. Or perhaps people would find a way through some sort of cultic magic to summon the Snail Lord out from that dark abyss. Not saying it hasn't happened, my friends. There are some strange reports out there. When the man returned to Redacted Company, he spoke of nightmarish visions and sightings of strange otherworldly beings that should never be. He described the place he had found to be a world of rot and ruin, an asylum for the damned, and there birthed the name, the NecroAsylum. Now, there was a story that the man told A story pieced together by visions given to him when he was in that grip, in that psychic prison, completely ensnared by the Snail Lord. He saw images flash before his eyes. And piecing them together, he told this story of what he saw. From the gifted visions, you could say, or the nightmares, he saw that a long time ago, perhaps during the colonial days, there lived a woman named Shalyn. And this Shalyn had always possessed a fascination with snails. And this Shalyn would sneak out into the woods, undress herself, and wander through meadows. And she would search for these slimy creatures with their delicate shells. And as odd as that is, it is just the beginning, folks. Because Shalyn would pick up these snails and then store them in her nature's pocket and her secret cave. Okay? Shalyn developed a deeper passion for this and began shoving more and more snails into her cave. Her health began to deteriorate rapidly. Our lone survivor was horrified by the visions that he saw. Shalyn's pale, smooth skin turned gray and wrinkled. Her flesh began to sag as if her body was generating more of it. Her body was losing form. Her eyes glowed as if flushed with demonic power. Her hair began to fall from her scalp. It was just disgusting. Now, others of the colony had become gravely concerned about Shalyn because she had been away from the colony for some time. And despite efforts to search, they could not find her. Our lone survivor could hear the shouts, was gifted to hear the shouts of concerned colonists, shouting her name, Shalyn, as they desperately looked for her. But she would hide deeper into the wilderness, slowly transforming more and more into the monstrosity that would become the Snail Lord. That is all we have here. There's more to this that we need to unearth. Because how did this Snail Lord go from our reality, our world, into the NecroAsylum? At this moment, my friends, I do not have that report to share. I do not have that story to give. But in time, maybe I will. But I do know something. There is a rumor that the Snail Lord and the Goofer once crossed paths. And if you want to know what the Goofer is, are the wells of Goofermore, I should say. The wells of Goofermore, which is another being of the NecroAsylum. If you want to know what that is, check out that episode. But with that said, my friends, I hope you take these tales as cautionary warning for, because there are many strange things out there. The supernatural should not exist, but it kind of does. I'll take it easy.